One of the things I've kind of realized that I've been indirectly calling upon people to do throughout pretty much all my published stuff and everything is embrace messiness. We don't like messiness. I see this in a lot of questions I get asked. We like things to be very clear cut. We like things to be categorized and in a neat order. We want our theology to be systematic, where it all fits together and everything is nicely in its place, and it all kind of works and everything. And the problem is, especially when we're dealing with anything related to God, that unwork, that dog don't hunt. Things get really messy. But even human history is messy. Actually reading the Bible in detail, things get really messy. Finding out the rest of Moses' family, who was not part of Pharaoh's household, also had Egyptian names, is messy. Finding out that Israel isn't a biological entity originally is messy. Finding out that the category Jew-Gentile or Israelite-Gentile that we all thought was really clear-cut maybe isn't, because there's these other Abrahamites in this zone in between, is messy. It's all messy. It's all way more like poetry than prose. It's all way more like art than math or science. And we don't have a choice but to get more comfortable with that. Because if we don't get comfortable with that, then either we're just going to live a very uncomfortable life, where there's this kind of dissonance between how we want the world to be and how it is, or we're going to try to force the world and history and life and ultimately God into some kind of box that doesn't trigger our OCD so badly and pretend it's clear cut. And when we pretend it's clear cut and we start coming up with these theories, they inevitably lead bad places. A lot of the bad theology we critique on this show, whether it's something like penal substitutionary atonement or whether it's dispensationalism, on and on, other things we've talked about, at the core of the issue is somebody came up with a system. Somebody came up with a way to systematize this, to try to make sense of all of it. And in so doing, they did violence to it. And they ended up mangling it. And our response to that can't be, okay, well, give me the systematization that works, that doesn't mangle it, because there isn't one. We have to live with God is who he is, the world is what it is, our life is what it is. We can't wake up every morning and go to war with existence because we want it to be something other than what it is. We have to live our life within the world we find ourselves in, among the people we find ourselves among, right? And move forward to do the things we're called to do and remain faithful to God and follow him and just accept that a lot of it is really messy and is going to stay that way. And we're not going to get it all in order anytime soon. Someday God will get it all back in order. And hopefully we'll see it. But we're probably going to die and get resurrected in between. We're done with Lent, so I'm done reading Nietzsche for the year. But as Nietzsche said, the will to a system is degenerate. He was talking about Hegel, but there's a little bit of truth to that. There's sort of a life-denying aspect to trying to make everything into just a big spreadsheet, a system of boxes. So that's what I have to say.